It's so nice to be here with all of you tonight. My name is Jean Marie Kneeley, and I am the former Vice Dean for Advancement at the School of Arts and Sciences and a member of the Kelly Writers House Advisory Board. Before there were MOOCs, Coursera, flipped classrooms, online learning, and ModPo, there was Al Filreis, his computer, and an idea, an internet reading group for Penn alumni. As the DP wrote in January of 1995, more than 100 alumni joined Al for this early asynchronous adventure. After the first 14 days of class, the alumni had sent over 7,000 lines of what was then known as electronic mail, the equivalent to more than 346,000 bytes. Emboldened by this success, Al went on to build a house on campus devoted to writing and other creative arts, and filled it with students sitting on green couches and mismatched chairs, talking with alumni like John Avnet, Buzz Bissinger, Andrea Mitchell, Ed Rendell, and Lou Schneider about their craft. And then Al wondered, why be confined to campus? Why not gather Penn alumni in art galleries in New York City and living rooms around the country? Who else but Al would have the audacity to ask 60,000 people around the globe to come together and discuss modern and contemporary US poetry? Or invite the Wharton Club of London to do a collaborative close reading of a poem? Al, because you dwell in possibility, we can luxuriate in it. By encouraging people to be passionately engaged in learning while being their best, most authentic selves, you have built a community that is innovative, inclusive, invigorating, and integral to Penn. You are a true force of humanity and a force in the humanities. And that is why Penn Alumni is proud to present you with the Faculty Award of Merit for 2021. And I am proud to call you my dear pal.
Thank you, dear pal, Jean Marie. I really appreciate that introduction. In my 36 years at Penn, I've had the honor of collaborating on projects and programs with hundreds of alumni. I want to shout out now to just a few of them. Thank you first to John Avnet, the producer, director, and screenwriter who dropped everything when he heard we were creating a house for writers on campus, flew east, and was our very first alumni visitor. And thank you to Elsie Sterling Howard, who in 1994 invited me to Miami to talk about how online discussions and learning could reinvent the way alumni interact with their alma mater, and then pulled me aside and told me, we're going to do this. Stick with me, Al. We're going to do this, and has been a passionate supporter of all these sorts of projects since then. And thank you to the aforementioned Alumverse crew, 159 people who in 1995 and 96 used an email listserv only to talk collaboratively, intensively, crazily for 2 years about poems, one poem at a time, all email. They were from every location in every field of business and life and every Penn class, from Joe Williams, the dentist at the Jersey Shore, to Bridget Grimes, the Berkeley astrophysicist, to Robert McCursey, who had taken his electrical engineering degree with the class of 1951. These people became convinced that alumni could and should be part of the Penn intellectual conversation. To the alumversers who are watching tonight, you were a pioneering group. You made so much possible. And thank you to David Roberts, a Wharton graduate with a passion for literature and reading, who helped us create the now famous Writers House online book discussion groups 21 years ago, and who has generously supported the program ever since. And thank you to David Gross-Lowe, Henry Siegel, Raina and Emilio Bassini, Harry Rosenberg, Molly Heled, Bruce Resnikoff, and many others who over the years have opened their homes in various cities to enable us to host the Traveling Writers House Roadshow, a salon-style gathering where we have invited talented local alumni read from their poetry, fiction, plays, and screenplays. We've proven through these events and other events that there are artsy and arts-minded people everywhere. Finally, a posthumous thank you to the late Paul Kelly of the class of 1962, the devoted Penn alumnus, trustee, incessant red and blue activist, generous donor, and dear friend who succumbed to COVID this year, whose discovery of the then nascent Writers' House at 3805 Locust Walk led quickly to his decision to help us make it last a long time. Paul Kelly believed most of all in the power and efficacy of a learner-centered learning community. When proudly talking about the Writers' House, Paul referred to what we do as the conversation. That conversation goes on, sadly without Paul, but it goes on, and his passion for listening to other voices, all Penn voices, persists. Thank you very much.